beach? He's like, yeah. But he's like, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's like it was just the women. I guess over there it's normal for women to just take like their bathing suit.
Yeah, that does.
I
think that is normal.
Let the chest
Hey,
out.
all natural, buddy. All natural.
You know, he gave me like a quick peek of the beach, and I was like, okay, most people got clothes on. Just some women have their tops off or whatever. And it's like a normal Saturday at Gold Diggers. It's cool.
I'll tell you what wasn't normal. Sunday.
Sunday.
Y'all, we back with another episode. It's your boy K Stag. I'm joined by my man Big Moon. Unfortunately, Red Nation blogger Bryson wasn't able to make it tonight. He had some family stuff going on, but we're gonna keep it rolling like we always do. Episode 16. I think we're on episode 16. 16 is going to be depressing. Well, at least depressing if you're a Texan fan. Well, I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. Texans got their ass mollywhopped by the Minnesota Vikings 34-7 on Sunday. Absolutely mollywhopped. It was disturbing. It was disgusting. It was gross. Now that I got that out the way, your thoughts? Your thoughts, Moon? Your thoughts?
The same. We got beat like we stole something, and it was a pretty bad whooping for sure. Houston Texans go down 34-7 on Sunday to the Minnesota Vikings at Minnesota, where even the Viking fans got stats on their record as they rocked the offense so bad that we couldn't get anything going that day at all. It was a very ugly outing for sure for the Texans. They allowed 5 sacks with the Vikings. Caused a false start or illegal formation 4 times in a row. Now even the referee started getting tired of the nonsense that was going on. And sadly, we went 3 for 14 on third down again this week, as we did it against the Bears last week. And this time it did hurt us as we did play a great defense. At least it looked like a great defense. And all I could be thankful for is if we do see Minnesota again, it will be in the Super Bowl. And let's hope that never happens. Because I can't take that. I can't take another game like that. But it just shows that our team is human or regular. You know, we got things to work on. You know, there's certain things that we need to really, really improve on, especially penalties, as we once again rack up double digits on penalties, costing us 88 yards. CJ throws his first interception or 2 interceptions of the season in this game as well. One was ugly and one was just in the beginning of the game that kind of just like gave me a feeling like, uh-oh, here we go, you know, And what really was the kicker in the ass was our kicker, though, kicking Hawaiian misses a 55-yarder indoors, and that's when I knew.
I think
go right ahead.
You were in for a long day.
I was in for a long day, man.
I think I texted you, if I'm not mistaken. I think I had texted you. I was like, you know what? Everything's going wrong, but it's going wrong at the beginning of the game. We can fix this. Yeah, no, it didn't get fixed.
Like my whole background was on fire, and I'm just like, it's okay, we're fine.
Yeah, you sent me that GIF where it's just like, we're okay, we're fine,
and
everything's on fire behind you.
Right,
it's okay, we're good.
Right,
it's okay.
So go right ahead. I'll let you get on this real quick.
Oh, shoot. I was just going to reiterate what you were saying, man. The penalties were an absolute kicker. I think they were saying at one point we had, 10 offensive penalties before we had a defensive penalty, which was the pass interference, I think, on Jalen Petrie, which basically put the ball at the 1-yard line for the Minnesota Vikings. I was going to say the CJ's first interception was just a great play made by the defensive lineman. Because I think he was going to hit Tank, who was wide open in the middle of the field, if I'm not mistaken. So it was just a great play by the defensive lineman. The second interception was absolutely was ugly, and he knew it. I think I remember seeing him in the game saying that was on him. I guess I'm trying to have moral victories, which really isn't saying anything. But the only really 2 bright spots in this game were Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins. Steph had 10 catches for 94 yards. Nico had 4 catches for 86. But Everything else was atrocious.
And
I,
it's just sad that Nico gets all his yards in garbage time. Honestly, when
and
my
that's all it was.
when my boy Davis Littlefoot Mills gets in the game, you know what I'm saying? But
Hey, yo, he came out there slinging it though.
yeah,
I mean, but he had nothing to lose at that point.
against
So
a third string defense, he better have moved the ball a little bit for sure.
shoot, you ain't lying at all. He better be moving something.
Yeah,
Once again, like last week, this week the run game was non-existent. Did not play.
atrocious.
Yeah, I'm being nice. You're being devious. Absolutely atrocious. Absolutely horrendous. Run game was absolutely non-existent. Nothing. Couldn't get anything going on the ground. Made things one-dimensional to the point where, CJ's got to throw the ball, and every time it felt like at one point, every time he stepped to the line of scrimmage to do something, and he called hut, it was a penalty on Laramie Tunsil or Titus Howard. I think the one penalty that I will dispute the entire game, and I think I texted you about it, was the false start on Juice Scruggs. They called it for him bobbing his head or something like that. I think I see every single center in the league bob their head whenever they're getting ready to hike it in their shotgun.
So
So
yeah, watching the game, I think the commentary said it's because he jerked too fast. It was too fast of a jerk. Supposedly, he's supposed to just calmly do it and then snap or something like that. I don't get it. I don't even get the whole illegal formation. I feel like I'm gonna defend him, but at the same time, I'm mad at him. Laramie Tunsil. I feel like he was at least at the belt line of our center after a couple of those penalties, but. I guess the NFL is really going to make that a serious thing at this point because it's not even us that also gets that penalty. It's other teams in the league that are getting them as well. But
yeah,
it's a struggle, and and it's sadly just because it was such a tough game, and we're trying to at least in the last drive, we're trying to go into next week with something positive. I really believe CJ. Yeah, he got put out in the last drive. Also, I mean. My guy was getting hit. Like I said, we let him get sacked 5 times. I mean,
he actually, I'm looking at it, he got sacked 4 times. Davis Mills got sacked once.
Okay,
so that's where the 5th sack came from.
You're right.
But you're right. He was getting hit. He was getting sacked. He was definitely under pressure. Sorry, didn't mean to steal your mojo. Keep going.
No, you're good. But shout out to Brian Flores for sure because he did confuse our guy for sure. And but in the day, I also look at it on a positive note. It is his first time going to Minnesota. I mean, it's only year 2. He gets to learn now. He knows what the environment is and what maybe an environment's going to be with a future opponent somewhere where we may have to travel to maybe even a louder fan base and stadium. The sack sucks.
And I think a lot of people I think we take for granted the fact that CJ is a second-year player because of the insane rookie year that he had. He is still only a second-year player. So, I mean, I'm not saying that as a safety net or as a safe or as a safegoat or whatever you want to call it for him to get by for today, or I'm sorry, for yesterday's game. But there are still some things that that he hasn't seen. As you said, Brian Flores threw a bunch of stuff at him that confused him, and I want to be the first to say that we haven't said it yet. Congrats to the Minnesota Vikings, man. They played one hell of a game. I mean, we could sit here and talk penalties, Texans playing like shit. Yo, give a shout out to the Vikings. At the end of the day,
for sure.
They showed up ready to play. The Houston Texans did not. The Houston Texans stayed in Houston and when they flew to Minnesota. Because I'm going to say it, their entire upper body was all the way up their ass, at least the entire game. So,
right.
I mean, it's definitely got to give a shout out to the Vikings. Got to give a shout out to Sam Darnold, who came out and played great. I mean, he committed 0 turnovers. He did get sacked 4 times, but committed 0 turnovers and was efficient moving the ball. Aaron Jones, 19 for a $102, came out. They had a run game. They did their thing on the ground. But this is who I want to bring up, and I know you want to talk about it because you were talking to me about it. Jay Jettis. Jay Jettis lined up. How many times did he line up? And they were playing off coverage on him.
Let me get my notes out real quick. Hold on. We're gonna go.
Take it away.
We're gonna go with. We're gonna go with it. Where are you, Jay Jettas? Where are you, Jay Jettas? All right. So Houston played off coverage, which means 5 yards or more on distance before the snap. On Justin Jefferson, 50% of his routes where he had 5 targets for 4 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown. On plays where we pressed him on 25% of his routes, we allowed 0 receptions on Justin Jefferson. And that's where I get with what the hell was going on with our game plan on that one. I didn't understand it when it first happened. I didn't understand it when it happened the second time. I didn't understand it when he finally got a touchdown. It was one of those like, dude, you're gonna have to do something to stop their playmaker for sure, and it just made it easy for Sam Darnold to just complete great passes, and it was one of those head scratchers for sure on defense. But talking about defense, I really say they kept us in the game most of the time. It was 14-0, I think, going into half, and then we allowed that touchdown in the opening drive for them. I mean, yards wise, yeah. For yards wise, we allowed a total of 274 yards. We recorded 4 sacks, I believe, right? Four. This year, first time this year, we allowed more than 100 yards for rushing. But I mean, I got to give it to the defense, man. I mean, they gave enough battle to at least try to see if the offense could get something going.
Yep.
I mean,
it spiraled out. It definitely spiraled out of control.
Right.
In the fourth quarter when they put up 13. I mean, it spiraled out of control way before then because the offense could never get going.
Right.
Whether it was penalties or it was mainly penalties. Whenever they started to get some form of a groove and they get on Minnesota's side of the 50-yard line, penalties. False start, illegal formation, false start, illegal formation. I mean, that's all it was false start and illegal formation. There wasn't any holding. There wasn't any offensive pass interference calls. There wasn't anything of that nature. It was just false starts and illegal formation, which, I mean, it's like you said, the refs were even getting annoyed and sick and tired of it.
Right.
I mean, so
it was the first time I ever see a ref like announce something and that kind of attitude, But I mean, when we were talking to Red Blogger earlier today in our text messages, like he said, when it comes to Laramie Tunsil, Buddy didn't go to training camp. He doesn't do all-season training or all-season whatever it is. And
off-season workouts, OTAs. He doesn't go to. He's not going to training camp. He's not even practicing the entire week, if I'm not mistaken, or leading up to the game. So it's like
right. So I mean, whatever you're doing, my guy, you need to change it because if you're not seeing it and you haven't seen it in the last couple of seasons, you're killing us with these penalties. Like I'm about to make rules for a drinking game because, dude, you're making me become an alcoholic a little bit with this nonsense. I mean, I didn't play offensive line, but a good terminology that you may know as being an all lineman is hold your water, bro. I mean, I get it; it's loud. I mean, you try to keep in your head what the snap count is. You just hear and you just expect it. Obviously he's not lined up all the way up to the line, so you can't see the ball.
Right.
I mean, there's other ways to make it work. I don't know, maybe have Shaq Mason let the center know when to snap and, hey, hold my boy Kenya's green hand, and when he moves his hand, hey, you come off too and start doing your sequence of blocking. I mean,
right.
We can say that that's the issue, but at the same time, my issue with the offense really is just why do we not try to run the ball? Like, third straight game, we start with CJ dropping back and throwing. I get it. That's what everybody loves, but at the same time, it's like we already knew it was
keep him safe.
Yeah, that and
keep him protected.
We already knew it was going to be a running back by committee this Sunday, and I mean, Cam Akers probably got maybe 32 yards, something like that.
I'll give you the rundown because I got it right here. Cam Akers, 9 carries, 21 yards. He had a long of 9. CJ Stroud ran the ball 3 times for 12 yards. So that's on scrambles for him, obviously.
For sure.
Jawan Taylor, number 26, 1 carry for 3 yards. British Brooks, who lined up at fullback, 1 carry for 2 yards. We literally ran the ball 11 times.
11 times.
11 plays. 11 plays were run plays.
And I mean,
that's not including CJ's 3 runs, because obviously he's not going to have designed runs.
correct. So
we had 11 designed running plays for running backs. 11. CJ dropped back. He officially dropped back 31 times, but he dropped back 34 times because he took off and ran with it 3 times.
Correct.
34 times.
And sadly, guys, that's not going to win a football game. I feel like a running game is what starts the tempo. I mean, yeah, we probably won the time of possession, but at the end of the day, when your opponent's starting on your side of the ball, I mean, what can you really expect? They're going to come up with points, especially in the first interception. All I could hope for was that our defense will hold and they kick the field goal.
To 3. Yeah,
right. And it just didn't happen. I mean, and then after we scored a touchdown, Kaimis Fairbairn decides to kick the ball out of bounds, and everything that could have gone wrong for us went wrong, and everything that could have gone right for Minnesota went for him, it's just the way of the game. I mean, it is what it is. Only thing I can say to our Texan fans is, do not panic.
Do not panic.
It's week 3.
I think it's week 3. We as fans, we got to hold it down because we know they're going to bounce back. We got to hold it down for our team because they're going to bounce back. They're going to figure it out. They're professionals over there at NRG. They're going to figure this shit out. Trust me, they are going to figure it out. So it's like you said, don't panic. It's week 3. Is it irritating? Is it frustrating? Yeah, it shouldn't have been 34-7. But
never.
At the end of the day, it is what it is. We got this ass kicking out of the way in week 3. I'd rather get this ass kicking out of the way in week 3 versus week 10, 11, 12.
When it really matters.
Trying to make a push. Yep. When it really matters and we're trying to make a push. I'd much rather get this ass kicking done against an NFC team versus an AFC team. Because if it's an AFC team, it's got more implications for getting into the playoffs. It's like you said, if we see the Vikings again, it ain't going to be until the Super Bowl. Or in 4 years from now when we play them again during the regular season. So
correct.
Don't panic. We gonna figure it out, or they gonna figure it out. We just gotta hold it down as fans. Now, with that being said, little tidbit. Next week, the Houston Texans are home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. As of right now, as of 8:57 p.m. on Monday, September 23rd, during the recording of this episode, the Buffalo Bills are mollywhopping the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-10.
Someone please call 911. Because somebody's getting
Somebody better call something. Somebody better call something. Somebody better call something.
Right.
So we got Jacksonville next week, and assuming it stays the way that it is, they will be 0-3 coming to Houston. What do you expect?
Well, as we all know, it is another division game for us, and the Jaguars came into our stadium last year and got us beat us in our battle red uniform, should I say at most. But I mean, right now it doesn't really look like the Jaguars are really clicking on any aspect of their game. I mean, from what I see on news and what I read on social media, it's frustrating over there. So I'm confident, but at the same time, because it's a division game, they teams to play a little harder when it comes to those kind of games because we have to win the division at least to guarantee a playoff spot.
Absolutely.
And so
absolutely.
So I believe we'll be okay. I mean, we're gonna reflect on our loss this past week, but right. I mean, they'll fix it. I mean, CJ, and I'm pretty sure that whole locker room knows, it is what it is. We didn't show out. It's time to come to the next one because the next one is a divisional, rival. Right. I mean, I don't, as much as I love to see that the Bills are whooping on the Jaguars, it also is concerning because after the Jaguars, we have the Bills.
We got the Buffalo Bills.
We got the Buffalo Bills. So
the funny part is in the middle of your little tangent right now is like, fuck, we got the Bills right after the
right
Jaguars.
after.
This is not lining up good at
Right
all.
after. And that's the game where we will debut our Houston or H-Town blue
Yep.
uniforms. So if you do go to that game, go hard and go loud because it's gonna be one of those moments. Because as a early fan of the Texans, I always seen the same uniform. So when the Battle Reds came out with their red helmets, I was like, finally. And then this comes out and it's
Finally,
like,
a red helmet. Yeah.
right. And then finally, and then now we have, I have a Will Anderson one jersey, and I love the color thread and everything. So I just can imagine what it's gonna look like when players wear the helmet, the gloves, and all that good stuff. But I mean, I believe we get it right. I mean, well, I guess we'll see where we're at with Joe Mixon and his injury. I mean, also we have to check out. I mean, to me, it looked like CJ was a little banged up after Sunday's game, and also it
I
looks
think
like
that's why I think that's why they pulled him out when they did. It's like, look, we're not gonna. He's not gonna go out there and score, 30 unanswered points to make this an interesting ball game in
right.
4 minutes. So
And
that
and
ain't
then and then also it looks like Tank Dill also got hurt on that last drive when Davis Mills was
I
our
did see.
quarterback. But from
I
what
did hear that.
but from what I read though, it's just like a mild rib injury, nothing broken, nothing like that. It's just soreness and stiffness. So he's gonna be day to day. But I'm pretty sure if it's just that, he's gonna be available for us as well. Even though he didn't have a monster game against the Vikings,
Yeah,
he
he
decent.
made a couple.
He
Yeah, he
paid.
made a couple of plays.
So it's a
He
like
did what you wanted him to do.
exactly
He did what you wanted him to do when Steph and Nico were covered up, and he was available. He beat his man and he was open. I mean, look, they're gonna get it figured out.
right.
We already said that. We already reiterated it. Look, they're gonna get it figured out. They're Bobby Slowick is gonna get it figured out. They're gonna figure out how to get this offense running smooth, and they're gonna get the problems fixed. It's last week we made predictions. This week we're not gonna make predictions because right now we just want to see what they're gonna do. There's there's obviously way too many mistakes and penalties and negatives that took place during Sunday's game. Right now, I just want to see them clean that up. And my biggest thing is penalties because that's 2 weeks in a row where they've had 10 or more penalties on them.
Right.
So they need to get the penalties cleaned up. That's what I want to see happen in week 4 against the Jaguars. Clean up the penalties. You clean up the penalties, play the game. I mean, it's that simple.
I'm gonna need them to run the rock with whoever we have at running back. I don't care if it's a Booba Wale. I don't care if it's Cam Akers. I don't care if it's J.J. Taylor. Hell, it can even be British Brooks. I mean, he had got to
Bro,
carry as well. We just need,
bro, they just need to call you up and have you go out there and run the ball.
man.
I bet you give them a couple carries.
Just put me at fullback. I'll open the hole up for you, cuz I promise. We gonna get
Said,
it.
I'm gonna take somebody the fuck out with me.
I'll make a hole. Don't expect me to run. I'll make a hole.
I'll make a hole. Damn it. I'll make a hole, by God, but don't expect me to tote the rock.
Right.
But I'll make a damn hole. Shit.
Yeah, but I mean, with Trevor Lawrence's problems, also, I just hope our defense shows out. But honestly,
and that's the thing. It's like you had called it in this game. That's 2 solid weeks that the defense has played. It just spiraled out of control at the end of the game.
right?
But we've been subjected to let Trevor Lawrence look amazing, especially when he comes to Houston. He's subjected to look amazing. I'm with you. I need the defense to continue this progression of aggression that they're doing.
Right.
For
sure.
And for the love of fucking God, stop with playing off the receiver.
You got a first round corner. You got a first round corner, and you got a second round corner. We need to definitely use them in their best ways for sure.
Use them. Because if they're playing man, that's at least 4 or 5 seconds that receiver may or may not be open. That you give those hogs on the defensive line to figure out a way to get to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Use them
for sure.
That's all I got that's all I got from me for tonight's episode. You want to add anything else, Big Moon? You want to add anything else to this episode, man?
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk to our viewers that do view this video today, and actually viewing the last few videos and have actually been giving us good views. So now that you guys giving us the views, I really want to say, like, subscribe, and also comment on the on our on
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
on the chat. Let us know, what do you think about what's going on with the Jaguars? What do you think about what's going on with the Texans? Give us your opinion. Let us know what you guys are feeling.
Not just that either. Give us opinions on how we're doing. What can we work on to be better for y'all? Because we're at the end of the day, we're trying to put out content for y'all, man. So
Exactly.
obviously, let us know what's going on. What are your thoughts about the team? What are your thoughts about the upcoming opponent? Hell, if you're not a Texan fan, or if you're just taking a look at it, what are your views on the rest of the league, man? I mean, we're talking about NFL. We got baseball in the works right now. They're on their last week of the regular season right now, before the playoffs start. I think it's either next week or the week after that. So I mean, let us know what's going on, man. Hit that comment button, hit those likes, subscribe. Let us know what's up. I didn't mean to take your thunder.
But it's the truth. It is the truth. But that's really all I have. Like I said, I thank anybody that does watch these videos for sure. I mean, like I said, Texans win this week for sure. I'm calling it. I don't care. I'm gonna call it. So,
I ain't saying shit.
but other than that, man, it's gonna. I wish you guys a good night, and be nice to your neighbors for sure.
Hey, yo, y'all have a great week, man. We'll holla at y'all next week. Holla.